What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Brighton preview. Now, because I'm doing this live, what I'm going to do is spend the first 10 minutes or so going through my score predictions, my predicted 11 and stuff like that. Then I'm going to jump into the live chat. So if you're watching this back later on, the first 10 minutes is what you need. That's going to be the prediction and stuff like that. Then we'll go in and have a little chat with the live chat and see how everybody's feeling. So right, look, on this one, ladies and gentlemen, what we know about the lads that are out injured is that Fabinho wasn't spotted in training today, but KEITA and THIAGO were back training. So will they be in the starting 11 for the weekend? Quite frankly, it's a guessing game. I've erred on the side of caution with my predicted 11 that I've gone for. Obviously, keeping in mind the game against Atletico Madrid coming up next Wednesday in the Champions League. A game that if we win, we all but top the group, and we're certainly qualified for the last 16. So, you know, Graham Potter and Brighton have had a great start to the season. There's a lot to admire, a lot to like about the way that they play their football. Tariq Lamptey being back for them is a huge plus as well. We know what a great attacking threat he is in the full-back scenario, and he's very unlucky that he came through with Chelsea. He's been very unlucky that he had players like Dan James and that ahead of him in the pecking order at Chelsea. So I always admire Tariq Lamptey. Obviously, Adam Lallana's in good form as well. I mean, who would have thought? I think this, if I'm right, this could be Lallana's 9th game in a row that he starts, if he starts it for Brighton. And look, they've had a great start to the year, campaign I should say, excuse me, and I do like Graham Potter as a manager. He's obviously someone that seems almost destined for bigger things in the game. Obviously, he came all the way from, I think it was Ostrunds, where he made his breakthrough. I think he first came to prominence, if my memory's right, when Arsenal played them in the Europa League. But anyway, on that one, I'm going to go through my predicted 11 now for the Reds, my score prediction as well, and see how we all feel. And look, we'll start off with the score prediction. I got to go for a 3-0 home win. And that's not that I want to be disrespectful to Brighton in any way, shape or form. It's more that we're in such a good vein of form. Even yesterday in the League Cup, we didn't play our best, it's fair to say, against Preston, even with the changes that were made, but we still managed to score 2. Could have had 3, and yeah, they could have had some as well, but I just think we'll get the job done. I think, you know, where we are at the minute, I'd back us against anybody in the world right now. The form Mohamed Salah is in, the confidence that's flown through Jurgen Klopp's team. I think this will be, I won't say a routine 3 points, but I think it'll be another 3 points for the Red at the weekend. And also, I like to look at how the opposition come to play, and usually Brighton come and play an attacking game of football, which usually suits us at Anfield in particular. If you want to come and have a go at us, I'll always back our boys to come out on top. So look, let's go through the starting 11 that I think will take to the pitch. Bear in mind, no Fabinho that we've seen in training today, as I record this, as we're doing this live on the Thursday. No Fabinho in training. KEITA and THIAGO, we're back in, but we'll go through the team and see what you guys think anyway. So look, if you're watching this back later on, let me know your predicted 11 and your thoughts on it in the live chat, or excuse me, in the comment section, and please do drop a like on the video as well. But look, here we go. So Alisson in goal for me, and I'm backing KONATE to come in again alongside Virgil van Dijk. Now, people might say, well, look, it's really unfair on Joel Matip. And it is. I absolutely agree with you. But I think the indication was there that Joel Matip played 45 minutes in the League Cup game last night. So I think, you know, the smart money would be on KONATE coming back in again to partner Van Dijk. And maybe this is the start of us getting to see that partnership come to fruition. It's not unusual for Klopp to take time to bed somebody in when they come to the team. And look, KONATE's been around since the summer. It's only now that we're really starting to see him unleashed. I like the word unleashed, so let's go with unleashed. And he was great against Manchester United. I was a bit nervous seeing him in the starting 11, but he was top notch. So I'm backing KONATE to come in alongside Van Dijk. Then for the full-backs, look, the best 2 full-backs in the league in my opinion. Andy Robertson on the left side, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right side. While we're talking about full-backs though, I do want to just take a second to give credit to Nico Williams for a fantastic display in 2 areas of the pitch yesterday against Preston in the League Cup. In the first half, obviously, he was playing the normal right-back role, but we've seen an interesting change from Jurgen Klopp in the second half where he pushed Nico up forward and brought Conor Bradley in to play at right-back. And again, Nico with, I think 1 assist was taken away from him, but I'm going to give him 2 assists for yesterday, and almost got himself a goal as well. So maybe that's an area that Jurgen Klopp is looking at with Nico Williams and thinking he could be of use to us a little bit further up the pitch. And again, yesterday against Preston, I was very impressed with Nico. I thought he showed great maturity. Look, you can make that decision that he did, whether you pass it or you take on the opportunity to score. If you score, you look like a genius. If you don't score, you'll get it. You should have squared it. And that's the way it is. He didn't score the opportunity he had, so probably should have squared it. Moving into midfield. And look, this is why I've erred on the side of caution. Obviously, we know no Fabinho available as we stand, but I don't think that Curtis Jones THIAGO or Naby Keita will make the starting 11. So I've gone for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jordan Henderson and Curtis Jones, with THIAGO and with Naby Keita maybe on the bench, come back on, get some minutes, and I think Klopp will look to those two for the game against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday night. So it's, again, with injuries around Liverpool at the minute, ladies and gents, you don't get much information. We get Fabinho had a knee knock. That's all we know. Don't know how long he's out for. Don't know when he'll be back. Same when THIAGO got injured. It looked like he had studs down his calf. I didn't think it would be this long. I thought maybe a game or two max. But now we're starting to see him back training. So fingers crossed they'll be ready for the game against Atletico. So I've gone for Chamberlain, Henderson and Curtis Jones in midfield. Then up top, Bobby Firmino, I think, deserves to keep his place through the centre. Sadio Mane to come back in on the left side of the attack, and Mohamed Salah on the right side of the attack. That's the 11 that I think that Jurgen Klopp will go with, at least start the game with, against Brighton at the weekend. And as I said, after that, maybe we'll see Keita, maybe we'll see THIAGO. But again, I just want to talk about another youngster that caught my eye last night against Preston. Somebody who's followed up his great performance in the second half against Norwich in the League Cup. My man of the match yesterday, and Anfield Agenda's man of the match yesterday, was Tyler Morton. I thought he was absolutely fantastic again yesterday against Preston. He really just looks like he has that bit of maturity about him, that bit of wisdom beyond his years perhaps, and he didn't look out of place at all there in the midfield with Curtis Jones and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Interesting to see Chamberlain almost play the full-back role in that game against Preston. And in these games, I wanted to see somebody like Chamberlain grab it by the scruff of the neck, really show that they were the one out there dictating the tempo and a cut above some of the other players on the pitch. And I thought that Tyler Morton probably had a better game than Curtis Jones, if I'm being entirely honest with you. And I don't think it would have done his chances any harm. He's probably the next one we're going to see off the conveyor belt at Kirby to come up and get his opportunity in the first team. So again, very impressed with Tyler Morton yesterday. And look, I want to give a little credit to Adrian as well, because made a couple of big saves in the game. You know, we're very quick to criticise him when he makes a mistake, but I think it's only fair that when he put in a good shift like he did yesterday, particularly that point blank save that he made on the line, which was of course followed up by Nico Williams, fantastic headed clearance. I don't know how he managed to pull his hands out of the way and let that clear off his head, because your human reflexes would have wanted you to put your hands up in front of your face, and he actually managed to get them down as well. So massive credit to Nico for that one. And look, it was a great win yesterday. Hopefully we follow that up with 3 points against Brighton on Saturday. I'm going to go over to the live chat now and see how you guys are feeling and what you think about it. Right, let's see we go. Costa's start. No, not for me, Matthew. But look, it's great that we're having this debate, isn't it? It's great that we're having a debate around, you know, is anybody good enough to challenge Andrew Robertson? And Kostas Tsimikas, I don't think he had his best game yesterday. Been very impressed with him as a whole this season, but yesterday I don't think Kostas Tsimikas really had his best game. But at that, Robbo has rediscovered it for me, and so I think Robbo starts the game, and I think it's fair for Robbo to start. Would I give Tyler Morton his big start over Chamberlain? No, I wouldn't. Now, here's what I think will happen with Tyler Morton, just a guess. So let's say we beat Atleti in the Champions League on Wednesday. We're qualified then. We're going to top the group. No harm giving Tyler Morton a run out in the last couple of games in the Champions League, getting that match day experience, that big game experience without any real risk to our position, because we're probably going to top that group. So yeah, I thought Tyler Morton was excellent. I do love the idea of him being in and around the first team, but I just think maybe the next League Cup game, maybe the Champions League game after Atleti. Well, if we win the game against Atletico, we're through. 12 points, we'll top the group. We've got an away game against AC Milan, a home game against Porto, and maybe then, good opportunity to give Tyler Morton an opportunity. Right, I think Matip playing 45 minutes means he plays this weekend. He could do, Kevin. I mean, yes, the fact he did play 45 minutes certainly would leave you to believe that Klopp will want him at least on the bench and available this weekend. He may well start, Kevin, absolutely. I just think that the fact that KONATE didn't play any minutes is probably an indication to me, and I'm just guessing because of course I don't know the lineup for the weekend, but if Matip plays, mate, all good. You know, Matip has been in fine form this season, so it's a great headache to have, isn't it? And of course we seen Nat Phillips get himself 45 minutes yesterday as well, which was good to see. If we can beat Man United 5-0, we can beat Brighton at least 6 or 7. That's not really how football works. So unfortunately, as much as, you know, I'd love to agree with you, and in theory you're right. If we can go to Old Trafford and destroy them, we should be able to beat everyone. But look, different days, different occasions, different referees, different atmosphere. Not Petro said Craig is Fabinho back. There wasn't pictures of him in training today, mate. That's all that I can say to you. As I was saying at the start of the video, Jurgen Klopp doesn't like to give out much information on when players will be back from injuries. It's always very vague. But I didn't see him in any pictures today, nor did anybody in our Discord group, because I was having a look at the chat in there as well. What have we got? Brian, top man, said thanks for the WFM20 discount code. Order placed. Big American nuts. I love to see it, Brian. Look, Brian is of course talking about Manscaped, and look, I wasn't going to promote Manscaped on this video because we do the news shows with Manscaped tonight. But look, if you are like Brian and you want to order something for a loved one in your life, do exactly what Brian did there. Get yourself over to Manscaped. Use the discount code WFM20, and Brian's balls will absolutely be thanking him. You can look forward to that thanking from your balls, Brian, and top man, really appreciate using that code. It means the world to us, dude. Right, what else have we got? Even THIAGO back in training as well. Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? You know, we're going from midfield crisis back to, dare I say it, midfield abundance once again. So having KEITA back's great. Having THIAGO back could be great. Obviously, the sooner we get Fabinho back, the better. And James Milner, you know, it's always great to have James Milner fit and available when he's going to be back. So yeah, it's good, isn't it? I mean, life's just good at the minute, ladies and gentlemen. Life's going to get better. Because at 8:45 tonight, myself and James Redmond will be live with another show as well. So I hope you guys join us for that one. I think THIAGO will start. I don't. I think he'll start against Atletico on Tuesday or Wednesday. But then again, I'm saying that. And as I'm saying it, mate, I'm thinking to myself, well, he could get absolutely cabbaged in that game as well with a filthy snidey tackle on Wednesday. So I don't mind, mate. If he plays Dr. Muzama, I'm over the moon. I mean, it's always a great day when THIAGO takes to the pitch. So yeah, if he plays at the weekend, I'm all for it, mate. I don't care who's in midfield, to be honest with you. If it's THIAGO, if it's KEITA, if it's Jones, if it's Henderson, I mean, I'll back them all. At this moment in time, I don't care who Jurgen Klopp puts out on the pitch, because these boys are in a good moment. The momentum is with us. The confidence is high in the group. And I think we're fortunate that we can make these changes. We can alternate and still keep up a level of performance, because there aren't many teams in the Premier League that can make 3 or 4 changes and be able to keep the level of consistency that we are. And that is, I suppose, testament to the coaching that Jurgen Klopp and the lads at Kirby are giving these guys, because they all know their roles. They absolutely know what to do on what occasion and what minute. And yeah, it's great. Did you hear about the news with West Ham? Is that about the billionaire that's going to be buying a stake in West Ham? If that's the case, then yes, I did. And look, I'm happy for the West Ham fans. I am. You know, more investment is a good thing in the Premier League as long as it's done in the right way. And West Ham are a team in a really good position right now, of course. David Moyes is having them playing some cracking football. So look, I'm happy for the West Ham fans. And more competition is just that, isn't it? More competition. Jota should start this game. Look, again, every week we're going to have this conversation, aren't we? Because one of the lads is probably going to be left out. So if it's Bobby, if it's Jota, if it's Mane, it won't be Salah. We know that it won't be Salah. Salah's going to be going for 11 and 11 and 11 games in a row of scoring, I should be saying. So, yeah, I think, look, one of them will always be rested or rotated. Where is James? He's on the 8:45 show. This is the Brighton preview, mate. 8:45 tonight, myself and James. Trying to do 2 streams a day now. One where it's just me and you guys, and then one where I have a guest or a panel show on. So yeah. Kaka said, and I've read this as well, said, I read that Joe Gomez is unhappy with his lack of game time is likely to affect his England chances. I can understand it from Joe's perspective, I have to say, Kaka. I get where you're coming from. I have read similar things, as I was alluding to yesterday when I was speaking with Jack. And I think it's fair to say for Joe Gomez right now, he probably is 4th choice centre-back. You know, he's got Van Dijk, Matip and Konate ahead of him in the pecking order. And look, it always makes me, I don't want to say pissed off, because I don't want to say pissed off and Joe Gomez in the same sentence, because that's not fair to the lad. But I never like to hear the phrase, because of my England chances or because of my national team chances. I don't give, and I know most Liverpool fans don't give a fuck about Joe Gomez's England chances. We care about Joe Gomez from a Liverpool perspective. We care about Joe Gomez's fitness, of course, Joe Gomez's happiness. But I really couldn't give a shiny shit about Joe Gomez's England chances. Because if he can't get into this Liverpool team, he probably doesn't belong. looking to get into Gareth Southgate's team. And with all due respect, I think the only person Joe Gomez has to look at here is Joe Gomez, because his performances haven't been good enough to be getting into the starting 11 for Liverpool Football Club at the minute. And that's the cold hard truth about it. There are better centre backs at the club right now, and if that means that Joe Gomez eventually feels like he needs to move away from Liverpool, well, that's a decision for Joe Gomez, I guess, to make. But you'd like to see him knuckle down. You'd like to see him do what he's always done, in fairness to Joe Gomez, which is, train hard, work hard, and try and take his opportunities at Liverpool when they come. For him, last night against Preston, I've got to say I wasn't overly impressed with him in the game. I thought that he was okay. That's my take on it anyway. Gomez got a 5 for that spot. Exactly, Leisha. Spot on. That's what we need. We need competition. Of course we do. We want to see the lads be unhappy about not playing. Of course we are. But we want to see them manifest that into performances on the training ground that, gives Jurgen Klopp the thought that, well, this guy's chomping at the bit here. He wants to play, and take those opportunities. And unfortunately for Joe, I don't feel that he's taken the opportunity he's had this season. And look, I'm trying to be fair about it, because of course, I've nothing against Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez has been a great servant to the club. Craig, you're pretty unbiased, not being Liverpool fan. Respect. Thank you. Look, I always try and give my honest opinion. People might not like what I have to say, and I appreciate that as well, but I won't just say stuff for the sake of it. I try and say what I believe in. Klopp could give him a run at right back, give Trent a rest. Even at that, Callum, hand on heart, mate, right now, if you said to me with the form the lads are in, Trent's getting a rest at right back, for me, and I'd love to know what the rest of the chat thinks about this, after last night, Nico Williams is the next one on my list to go at right back. I thought Nico was very good in a defensive perspective last night, and of course when he was pushed further up the pitch in the second half, you seen again him getting into the penalty area, setting up opportunities, setting up goals, and nearly scoring himself. So yeah, if if Trent gets a rest at right back, I think Nico Williams has earned the spot. I think he was very, very good yesterday. Do I think we can pull off a double? You know what, Jonathan? I do, mate. I really, really do. I'd love us to win one of the big two and a League Cup, or one of the big two and an FA. Look, we'd all love to win the Champions League and the Premier League. Of course we would. That would be a dream scenario. But yes, I do. I do think we can go and win a double this season, mate. Yes, I do. And how lovely that would be. Right, what else we got? Ox starting for us, said Elijah. Get behind one of your players, mate. I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has shown in the last couple of weeks. Came on against Atletico Madrid off the bench. I thought he was effective. Last night, I thought he was trying very, very hard in the game. And it's more a case of we just don't have many other midfielders as well at the minute. Tyler Morton certainly put himself in the manager's thinking with a great shift last night. So yeah, look, if you don't like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I understand, but we are just bringing two lads back from injury as well, and we do have some more headaches in midfield. So a double, why not a treble? Bish, why not, mate? You know what I mean? Doubles, trebles, quadruples, win it all, mate. We're still capable of winning everything this season, and that's what we should be looking to do. No, we won't do it. We won't win a quadruple, but we're right there, second place in the Premier League, 1 point behind Chelsea. We're into the quarter-final of the League Cup. That draw, by the way, will take place on Saturday morning, 10:30am on Soccer AM. THIAGO does have hair, yes. People have been looking at the training pictures. Yes, he does have a bit of gruiga, which is Irish for hair, on top of the old noggin. Craig, what's your opinion on Edouard Mendy not in the Ballon d'Or? I think a lot of people are doing exactly what they're doing with Salah, with Mendy, in that they're seeing Mendy's fantastic form this season. Now look, Mendy was good last season as well, but he's up to another level this season. So for me right now, Mendy and Salah are probably the two this season that we'll be talking about for next year's Ballon d'Or, because Mendy's been a phenomenal signing for Chelsea, and such how they got out of the game against Brentford, by the way, with 3 points, I'll never know, because it's only for the brilliance of Mendy in that game that they didn't concede a goal, because he is a very, very good goalkeeper. But yeah, I think we'll be talking about next season for the likes of Mendy and Mohamed Salah. What do I think about Matip's pace? Well, look, when you're that big with that long of legs, you'll always be able to cover ground. But I think if we're worrying about pace, then we go with KONATE. As was pointed out by you guys to me in the live chat when we when we seen the team news breaking against Manchester United, I have to say I was a little bit worried about seeing Ibrahima Konate in there. Not because I don't believe in the guy, more because I hadn't seen enough of him. But perfect decision by Jurgen Klopp, and again was able to cope with the pace of the likes of Marcus Rashford and stuff. So yeah, I'm intrigued by the draw, by the way, as well. I think we're going to get Arsenal. Fabinho wasn't in training, Bish, unfortunately, mate. Not in the images that I seen anyway. And again, Kloppo's not the most forthcoming with injury news. So yeah, nothing on Fabinho that I'm aware of, other than he wasn't in training today. That's all I know. I don't know anything else, so I won't tell any lies. Do you think THIAGO and KEITA will be fit for Brighton? Yes, I do. I think that they will be in the manager's thoughts for the game. I erred on the side of caution with my team selection. So, if one of THIAGO or KEITA is in there, brilliant. Happy days, no issues. I just wonder if the manager would maybe bring them off the bench during the game, ease them back in, and then look to perhaps play them against Atletico Madrid on Wednesday. Was Gomez good yesterday? Not really. Zach, I'll be really honest, mate. I wasn't overly impressed with him yesterday at all. Yeah, sorry, that's just my take on it. What else we got? Heard Milner wanted to play yesterday. Who does that? Absolute machine. Jimmy Milner, mate. You know what I mean? We can't judge Jimmy Milner by human standard. He's the Benjamin the Benjamin Button of football. Craig, thoughts? I don't know who the fuck that is. The guy at Celtic, mate. I don't watch Celtic or Rangers, so not really. I don't watch Scottish football. Yes, Dara, you're absolutely spot on. One team that we won't be getting in the League Cup draw is, of course, Manchester City, who were knocked out on penalties by West Ham, who continue their fantastic start to the season. So yeah, fair play to West Ham yesterday on knocking out Manchester City, and of course Leicester made their way through on penalties as well. Craig, do you agree with Matip and Gomez playing Champions League and Cup games and Konate and VVD for the league? I don't think I would be that... how do I say this? I think the phrase I often try to use is horses for courses. So I would say that it depends on the opposition. Are we playing opposition that are going to look to turn us and get in behind us, that we need pace? Are we playing opposition that are going to get the ball into wide areas and pump crosses into the box, so we'll need height? I think it depends who we're playing, to be honest with you, dude. Made no sense to throw Konate in for the United game, and he played great. Don't see why he can't start this game. Him and Virgil are beasts together. I think, Adam, long term, I think most of us in the chat would agree that long term the partnership certainly feels like it's going to be Van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate when everyone gets up to speed and Konate gets fully settled in. And what a partnership that looks like it's going to be. I mean, best of luck trying to bully those two boys. Even if your name's Ivan Toney, he was a fantastic forward and certainly gave Matip and Van Dijk a real handful when we played Brentford. So yeah, I think they're definitely the two that are going to be the centre backs moving forward. Have I heard the news of the West Ham takeover? I didn't hear the phrase takeover, John, and I could be wrong. I heard investment. Now again, I'm only playing catch up, and I'll have more information by the time we go on with James later on tonight. But for me, I heard investment. But look, either way, I'm delighted for West Ham, delighted for their fans, delighted that as long as the investment structure is done in the right way. So I still have my reservations about the Newcastle takeover. I can't lie, I've said it, I'll be honest about it. But it's not that I don't want Newcastle fans doing well. I have a lot of time for the Geordies, and I'm delighted they got rid of Mike Ashley because they deserve better. But yeah, it's about the right type of investment, and as long as it's within the rules, then, it increases competition in the league. Considering we're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, I want us to go for it, said Reform. So do I. Look, I've been consistent on this, mate. For years now I've said the same thing. For me, and it is just me, I always prefer the League Cup to the FA Cup. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you get a trophy if you win it early in the season, and it gives you a nice little push then for the remainder of the campaign. But I don't know, I've always preferred the League Cup. It's an investment leading to a takeover. You guys will let me know in the chat. Good, because I know West Ham fans, a lot of them haven't been too happy with Messer's Gold and who's the other one? David Gold and David... I can't think of the other owner's name of West Ham. O'Sullivan, isn't it? Sullivan or O'Sullivan? Sullivan? David Sullivan? Yeah, them two. Two Davids anyway. Still buzzing from Sunday, said Adam. Absolutely. Who isn't? Do you know what I mean? Give me a love heart in the chat if you're still buzzing about Sunday, because I'm with it. I'm all over it. I'm still waking up and smirking over that game. I'm still watching Match of the Day 2 again. So if you're the same, let me know in the chat, because you've every right to be. This doesn't come around every single day. Do you know what I mean? The 4-1, we still talk about that at Old Trafford. Stevie G up kissing the camera. This was better. We took our foot off the gas. We did them a favour. They should be thanking us for only beating them 5-0. And I mean that. Mike Dean is refereeing the Brighton match. Yeah, I'm aware of that, and I'll be consistent in what I say. I don't think Mike Dean should be refereeing Liverpool or Everton games, and I don't think Anthony Taylor should be refereeing any of the Manchester club's games. Yes, a broken heart there for United in the chat. Mate, I feel you. I do. I feel you. I get where you're coming from. Because look, United fans will have rightly been a little bit buoyed by last season finishing second in the Premier League. Then they went out this summer, and look, you know, even as the most hardcore Liverpool fans, we have to admit that seeing United sign Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane, maybe not so much Cristiano Ronaldo, for me in particular. I mean, I understood the nostalgia around it, but them signing Ronaldo didn't add any extra fear to Manchester United for me, and I've got to be honest about that. But Rafa Varane, Sancho, and some of the other players they've brought in, I thought maybe they're going to push on this year. Maybe they'll be a little bit closer to the top three, who I think, you know, the league will be between City, United, and City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, with United in a fight for the Champions League spots. Do I think Spurs will beat United? I honestly don't know. I've got no idea what United will show up. I've got no idea if there really is hurt in that dressing room and they will manifest that in a performance for the manager, or if they will once again show up and have very little game plan, rely on individual brilliance, and maybe get beaten and try and push Ole Gunnar Solskjaer towards the Manchester United exit. But what I would say is, if I'm a United fan right now, I'd be really, really worried, because the longer this Solskjaer debacle goes on, the further and further they're going to fall away from a Champions League place, and they cannot afford to not be in the Champions League next year. Ronaldo wouldn't be happy about that. Sancho, I'm sure, wouldn't be happy coming into a club that he expects to be in Champions League each year. One, not getting enough game time, and then being out of the competition. So, yeah, I mean, am I smiling about it a bit? Yeah, I am. Don't know about you, but I'll support Tottenham on Saturday. The longer Ollie stays, the funnier. Yeah, I won't be able to do a watch along of that game, because I'll still be doing the post-match stuff from our game against Brighton, but I'll certainly be watching it. I'll certainly have it on in the background, 100%. And, I think I'd like a draw in that game between Spurs and United, because I'd like them both to drop points. Any news on Bowen, and Neto to Liverpool? No. Not that I'm aware of, Bish, other than the links that were there previously. No, not too much that I'm aware of. I still think Jeremy Doku. I think Doku is going to be the one that comes through from an attacking perspective for us. Craig, you heard Klopp admit he doesn't know what 11 he's playing now in the next round. Of course he can't, John. He doesn't know who he's playing yet. So, I think it's fair for Jurgen Klopp to say he wouldn't have a clue what 11 he's going to play in the next round, because he'll need to know what opposition. Like, let's be honest, if we draw Sunderland at Anfield, you're going to see a lot more of the younger guys get their chance to go and prove themselves and go through. Where if we draw, let's say, Leicester at the King Power, I would suggest that Jurgen Klopp will probably go a little bit stronger than he would if we drew a home game against Sunderland. So, yeah, he'll have to wait and see what the opposition is first. Hey bro, when you face Arsenal, please have a collab with AFTV. Yeah, there's more chance of me turning my eyelids inside out than ever doing a collab with AFTV, mate. I don't like the channel, so I won't ever be doing anything with AFTV, mate. It's not my cup of tea when it comes to content. No hate, no, don't have anything against any of the lads on a personal level at all. I just don't like AFTV's style of content. It's not my cup of tea. I've always said that from day one on this channel, which is why I've never done that with AFTV. Never will either. So, yeah, unfortunately, nothing against any of the lads. I've done stuff with Troops. He's a really nice fella. Really enjoyed the few bits I did with him for 888 Sport and that. But, yeah, not my cup of tea, unfortunately. Craig, would I have taken Edward if Palace didn't take him? I thought Leicester were going to take him, to be honest with you. Salah, the Egyptian king. Yeah, I thought Leicester were probably going to get him, but then when Leicester got Daka, I think it was a very good move by Palace to get Mendy in there. He looks like he's doing a decent job for them, and I thought Edouard, I should say, excuse me, not Mendy, Edouard. I thought Leicester were going to get him for the longest time because they were the ones that were linked with him. Craig, have you heard the news of Rafinha about we're still interested and PSG are favourites though because Neymar's telling him to go with his teammate to Brazil? Yes, around Rafinha being linked to Liverpool. Obviously, as I pointed out previously, he's represented by Deco. Deco is part of George Mendes' Guest a Few agency, and the good news about that, the reason I bring that up is, if I hear a player is Mino Raiola is his agent, I'll automatically think, well, that decreases the chances of Liverpool signing him. If I hear that a player is represented by Deco, George Mendes, or the Guest a Few agency, i.e. Rafinha, that makes me think, okay, there's a very strong possibility that if Liverpool really want the guy, we'll go after him because we've got a good working relationship with that agency. Fabinho came in from that agency. Diogo Jota came in from that agency. So yeah, and Deco came out and said that Liverpool were one of the clubs that were interested in Thiago, or excuse me, not Thiago, Rafinha, and that Rafinha won't leave till the end of the season. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Did you see what Cesc Fabregas said? He said Anfield was the toughest ground he played in and Gerrard was the toughest player. Speaking facts there, isn't he, Philip? You know what I mean? Shout out to Cesc. Speaking facts. Very good footballer, Cesc Fabregas. Always liked him as a player. I like him even more now. Zaid, how are you? Again, my man said, Anfield. My name's Craig, dude. You know, feel free to call me Craig Anfield if you want, though. It's up to you. He said, if you'd signed Aubameyang in 2018, what more do you think you will achieve and how many goals do you think you'll get? Look, Aubameyang, I never thought he'd come to Liverpool, but I always respected the dude's goal scoring prowess. If anything, I was surprised that he had another dip at Arsenal. But look, his goal scoring capabilities are clear. He's a very good player. It's just getting the consistency from Aubameyang seems to be a bit of the issue. Riz said always rated Cesc as highly as Xavi. Yeah, amazing player. I remember Cesc coming through as a 16-year-old, I think, when he first went to Arsenal. Tremendously talented footballer. Really, really good player. Opinions on selling Joe Gomez for cash to fund for players and use May as fourth choice? I don't know. I think, did you mean Nat Phillips? Is that what you meant? Nat as fourth choice? No, I don't want to go down that road. If we move Joe Gomez on, I want it to be because Klopp feels that maybe Billy Cometio or somebody else is ready to go, and not because we want to cash in to help rebuild the squad. Because look, we've only just gotten out of the centre-back headache situation that we were in last season, and we know how quickly a couple of injuries can come around and how that can decimate the squad. So, you know, if we move Joe Gomez on, I would want another centre-back in, or Klopp to know 100% that Billy Cometio or Reece Williams or Sepp van den Berg or whomever was ready to step up. Your view on Pogba's shocking challenge. I've said it at the time, Special K, and I will say it again. As somebody who has played the game a lot in their life, and somebody who's been around watching the game a lot, and somebody who's been involved in the game a lot, I can tell you 100% that was a cowardly challenge by Paul Pogba, and I'm disgusted by it, because he knew what he was at. He jumped into it 2 feet off the ground. Now, his 2 feet hit the ground before he hit the player, don't get me wrong, but it was a cowardly challenge out of frustration, and he knew what he was at. So I don't buy into anybody who says he was unlucky, or I don't buy it. He was a cowardly fucking arsehole, and the challenge was disgusting, and he could have very easily broken Naby Keita's leg. And anybody who says anything different either doesn't understand the game or is blinding themselves because of their admiration of Paul Pogba. I admire Pogba as a footballer, but that was a cowardly challenge. That was a challenge that, as you pointed out, in my opinion, deserves a minimum 3-game ban, which I think he'll get, potentially even more so, because that only for he hit Naby Keita's non-standing leg, that could have been Naby out with a broken leg. And I'm not going over the top here, because I think the Ronaldo incident, petulant, but I understood it. I don't think he was ever looking to hurt Curtis Jones seriously. The high foot from Fred, I don't think was intentional, and I don't think was as high as Antoine Griezmann's. I think there was a bit of stooping involved in it. Bruno's challenge, again, petulant yellow, but Paul Pogba's one was absolutely sickening. It was disgusting. Ask any pro, and they'll tell you the same thing. That was a horrible, horrible, horrible tackle. Any news on KEITA? He's back training. Mate. Naby Keita and THIAGO were back training today. Still no news on Fabinho. And look, I'm not saying that because that was Paul Pogba, by the way, and a Manchester United player. Hand on heart, you could see it. Like I said it in my watch along. Watch, a red card for these lads will be next. Because you could see the petulance, you could see the frustration, you could see that there's nothing left to give. They were being absolutely humbled and humiliated at their gaff in front of their own fans. Pogba was coming off the bench feeling he probably should have started the game. Then we get a fifth, the game goes away from them. No coming back, and then he goes and does that, and Naby goes off on a stretcher. It's sickening. I'm sorry it is. But look, it's been and done. Thankfully, Naby just got bruising, and thankfully that we're not losing another player. Because look, Atletico Madrid, again, they were some snidey challenges in that game as well. Opinions on that Monaco youngster, Tchouaméni. I know from speaking with some Chelsea fans and stuff, they were very confident that they were going to sign that kid Tchouaméni from Monaco during the summer. I remember speaking with Alex Goldberg at the time during the summer. We did a video together, and before or after we recorded, we were chatting about transfer business and stuff like that, and he was talking to me about Tchouaméni and Rice as two midfielders that he knows Chelsea were very interested in signing. But he looks like a real talent. Any news on Kelleher? I don't know. Hand on heart, Callum, I don't know. I didn't even look out for Kelleher today, to be honest with you. He's been so unfortunate, Queeveen. He missed his opportunity with Ireland through illness or injury, and Gavin Banzunu, took that opportunity with both hands. Will there be a late night agenda? Absolutely. Myself and James Redmond will be back tonight at 8:45, so 100%, mate. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with James and chatting about the League Cup. Obviously, still reminiscing about that win at Old Trafford and looking ahead to the game, obviously against Brighton. And look, for those coming in late, let me talk you through my predicted 11 there, my reasoning behind the 3-0 scoreline prediction. 3-0 because look, no disrespect to Brighton or anybody else, but we're in a really good vein of form at the minute, and I just want to back us to keep that momentum going. So that's why I went with a 3-0. I do rate Brighton. They're a very good team, but I think they're a team that will play in a way that will suit us. And you say in boxing at times, styles make fights. Same in football games, and I think this will be one that will suit Liverpool. So Alisson in goal for me, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back. My guess, and it is just a guess, is that no KONATE involved last night, i.e. he didn't get any minutes last night. I think he may start with Virgil van Dijk, and maybe we'll see Joel Matip come in against Atleti, but I'm going to go for Van Dijk and KONATE at centre back. Midfield wise, yes, maybe THIAGO or KEITA will get a start. I'm erring on the side of caution, thinking that maybe Klopp will bring them off the bench, so I've gone for Chamberlain, Henderson and Jones in midfield, then Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino and Mohamed Salah up top. And again, you could talk about maybe giving Jota a run, absolutely. Which one is going to get a rest each week? Your guess is as good as mine. Costas needs minutes. He got minutes last night, and I think not his best performance. Did okay, but there's better to come from Costas Tsimikas. But let's be honest, Andy Robertson is the starting left back. Craig, if we had to sell Firmino to get more squad depth into this team, is Jota good enough to take his spot? I've thought about this long and hard, mate, and I've gone backwards and forwards and left and right and up and down between whether it would be Sadio Mane or Roberto Firmino to move on. And I think that I finally landed on I would rather keep Bobby Firmino. And as I said, I've gone back and forth on that. I've changed my mind umpteen times. I just think both of them difficult to replicate, but I think Bobby Firmino almost impossible to replicate unless you go out and got somebody like a KEITA as an example who can do all that hard work and chip in with some goals as well. But look, it's a horrible scenario to talk about, isn't it? Losing one of them. Am I a fan of F1? No, not really. My son is. I'm not. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leg it. That was just a quick one. Well, I say quick. It was 40 minutes long. I'll be back tonight at 8:45 with James Redmond for another Anfield Agenda Late Night Agenda. So I hope to see you guys at 8:45 where we'll go through whatever you guys want to talk about. It's your show, so you let us know what you want to discuss. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. And I really look forward to seeing you guys at 8:45 because it should be lots of fun. Thank you for tuning in.